people. It comes through in every conversation. So I applaud you on developing a very strong tradition of excellence, and also for what you've done recently with the university and for these great facilities you put together. So I applaud you for that, and we welcome you to the conference with open arms. Our vision is to provide opportunity for the next great generation of universities. We think this university is among one of the next generation of great universities, and so we're excited about that. We're a big conference right now. We're the largest FBS conference. We have large universities typically, and larger markets are connected to large markets, and so that's our profile. We think we're on the rise. We think the best for Conference USA is ahead of us. We very much appreciate the two-division model we have and the ability to connect universities together in rivalries. We're going to be able to restore some great rivalries here with UAB and Old Dominion, and maybe start some new rivalries with Marshall. And so those things are things that are very exciting to us. And the two-division model is efficient. It also enables the student athletes to get back to class, which is kind of bedrock for us. We have great TV partners that are excited about this move. We have great bowl partners that are excited about this move. And so I think it's terrific for us, and hopefully terrific for you on a going forward basis. Most of all, from the conference, we want to do things the right way. We want to graduate our student athletes. We want to operate with a high level of integrity. We want to follow the rules and win, but we want to do it the right way. And so we know you share our values in that regard. So this is a great day for all of us, and I expect immediate impact into the conference from Western Kentucky. No question about it, and hopefully it's the start of a really great future relationship together. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr. Ransdell.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. I want to publicly thank Britton Banowski for his guidance, his assistance, and most importantly, his professionalism over these last few months. I also want to thank our Board of Regents for acting upon my recommendation about 30 minutes ago. And I want to make a special point to thank my 8 predecessors in this job, from H.H. Cherry to Tom Meredith, for creating over these last 107 years the traditions that define us at WKU. Traditions which include considerable athletic success. I also want to thank a list of great athletic directors, from Ted Hornback to Todd Stewart, for nurturing and strengthening our traditions and those symbols that are so uniquely WKU, and for ensuring a high level of integrity in all that we have done on the courts and fields of competition. Over these last year or two, we've been more focused on us throughout the recent wave of conference realignment. But with some of the most recent waves, we decided to contact Commissioner Banowski and seek a position for WKU that would provide a more secure future for our athletic programs. Fortunately, he and the presidents of Conference USA member institutions certainly did listen. And as the changing landscape in intercollegiate athletics occurred around us, we knew it was time to grow and seek to control our own destiny. WKU has a proud athletic history across our men and women's programs. That history includes conference stability and longevity. We were in the OVC for 34 years, from 1948 to 1982. We've been in the Sun Belt Conference for 31 years, since 1982. And I've enjoyed working personally in the Sun Belt with Craig Thompson and Wright Waters and Carl Benson. So now, Britton, I look forward to working with you for the next 30 years.
Okay, great. Well, you may make it 30 years. I'm not sure I will.
We were leaders in the OVC with 84 conference championships, and more than any other member of that conference over that period of time. And we've been leaders in the Sun Belt with 122 conference championships, more than any other conference member over the time that we've been in the Sun Belt. There's a theme here, but the point is we intend to bring value to Conference USA. We want to be successful, but we also want to be part of a collection of peer institutions with academic and athletic integrity, and we intend to bring value in that regard as well. And we intend to be in Conference USA for a very long time. When we moved in football from what was then known as 1AA to 1A in football, we said we'll be known by the company we keep. We honor and treasure our previous peers in the OVC and in the Sun Belt, great institutions, great friends. But I'm really excited about the company we will keep in Conference USA. We have great academic and athletic respect for the 13 new peers that we will join in 15 months. The BCS is changing, and we will be ready. Bowl access is critical to our football future. We will now be prepared. Conference USA has the bowl access that we will need. As NCAA men's basketball tournament seeding grows in importance, we will play in a conference which will help our RPI. We look forward to renewing our rich Lady Topper history with Old Dominion and Louisiana Tech. Great history, great rivalries. To rekindling our conference history of great games in men's basketball with UNC Charlotte and Alabama Birmingham. To sustaining friendships with 4 current Sun Belt foes and create new friendships with Rice and Marshall and Texas San Antonio and UTEP and Southern Mississippi, which is already scheduled to come to Diddle Arena this coming year. We'll enjoy our competition in the Sun Belt next year and embrace our friends at each stop along the way. At the same time, we'll prepare to enter Conference USA in July of 2014, and as we do, we pledge the deepest respect for our new friends. Conference USA is our future home. It is where we want to be, and we are honored to accept the invitation to become a member of Conference USA. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Todd, go ahead, please.
Well, I would certainly like to thank Commissioner Bonoski, Judy McLeod, the Conference USA presidents, and the Conference USA athletic directors for the confidence they have demonstrated towards WKU. After carefully monitoring and analyzing the collegiate landscape for a significant period of time, it became clear to Dr. Ransdell and I that the many strengths and attributes of Conference USA made this conference the ideal future home for WKU. Britton and Judy's professionalism through this process has been tremendous, and we are truly honored to be formally joining Conference USA on July 1st, 2014. This represents a landmark moment for our university and community, and we are extremely excited about the significant opportunities that await. WKU's move to Conference USA will be transformational for our athletic programs, our university, and the city of Bowling Green. Partnering with institutions we have enjoyed long-standing and meaningful rivalries with will enhance the game day experience, grow our fan base, and increase the level of energy and excitement our programs and community deserve. Increasing our revenue will enable us to provide our student athletes, coaches, and 19 athletic programs the vital resources that are necessary to continue to succeed at the highest level. We have been a proud and successful member of the Sun Belt Conference since 1982, a period during which we have won 122 league championships, and I know the Hilltopper Nation will join with us in making our final season in the Sun Belt a memorable one as we transition to only our 3rd athletic conference since 1948. I personally worked in the Sun Belt Conference offices in New Orleans from 2005 to 2008. The conference is fortunate to have strong leadership in Commissioner Carl Benson and his staff, and we look forward to continuing to compete in the Sun Belt over our final 15 months as a member of the conference. And last but certainly not least, to our coaches and our student athletes, many of whom I'm pleased to see are with us today. Keep doing what you do best, and that is excelling on the field and in the classroom. It is your dedication and your commitment to excellence that have helped put our university in this envied position, and I truly thank you for that. Our time is now. The future has never been brighter. We're honored to be joining Conference USA. Go Tops.
Now, one of the things we were talking about with Britton walking over here was the traditions at WKU, and as I mentioned, they are uniquely WKU, and we were kind of having to bring him up to speed on Big Red a little bit. But one thing that he quickly grasped was the importance of the red towel in our athletic history and what Ed Diddle did to establish that tradition, and how now it has become the symbol of our spirit and our energy and our confidence and our ambition in ways that go way beyond just athletic competition. So Britton, I'm pleased to present to you your official
Thank you.
WKU red towel. And,
Thank you.
Now, I'm not going to expect you to come to Conference USA games and wave that red towel, but we'll know it's somewhere in your office.
Yeah, it'll be in my office. Thank you very much. This is cool. And I will tell you the traditions are apparent, and they're wonderful traditions. And so not all universities have a red towel. And so, you should really be proud of your red towel, and I'm sure you are.
Thank you.
And it's currently baseball and softball season, and our baseball and softball programs are in first place as we speak. So what more appropriate to give to you than a WKU baseball cap?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll go ahead and begin the question and answer portion with media members. Once again, if you could, please raise your hand, grab the microphone from Jeremy Brown, and identify yourself and your news organization, and then ask your question.
Hello, Commissioner. Chad Bishop from the Bowling Green Daily News. A lot of it has been made of divisions. Have you given any thought to how those will be made up in 2014?
We're set in 2013, and we'll sit down and talk about 2014, and we'll have divisions, obviously, in football to determine our football championship participants. But how we structure the rest of the sports, I think, remains to be seen. There's probably some creative things we can do in basketball that aren't just strictly, two-division modeling and for scheduling purposes. But that's something we'll take up next year.
Brad Stevens, WK Herald. Todd, I know you talked about how money was a big part of this. Can you kind of break down a little bit the money that Western will get now from TV and other avenues as compared to what it was before?
Well, there'll certainly eventually be a significant difference in revenue. We aren't a member until July 1st, 2014. We're initially not a full-time member, so that will be down the line a little bit. And certainly that was a big part of this, but it's not the only part. I think the relationships, the new schools that we will be playing that really aren't new to our fans and our history, but we haven't played in a while, were a big part of this. I think the opportunity for us to play on a regular basis, Marshall and Charlotte and Old Dominion and UAB and Southern Miss and Louisiana Tech, who previously were conference members with WKU at different times, along with the 4 Sunbelt schools that certainly we played in recent years, Middle Tennessee, North Texas, FIU, and FAU. I think those type of relationships and the schools in Texas, that we haven't played, I think those relationships create a level of excitement, that I think will infuse all of our programs moving forward.
Jeff Woods, WBKO. Todd, just to confirm, what would be a possible exit fee for leaving the Sun Belt and entry fee for Conference USA?
Well, there is no exit fee because we've given the conference more than 12 months notice. The entry fee is $2 million, and that's paid out in 4 installments over a couple years.
Kevin Willis, WKU Public Radio. Can either Todd or Dr. Ransdell speak to when WKU first contacted Conference USA about possible inclusion?
Well, the commissioner and I have been friends for the last few years. We both serve on I serve on the President's Oversight Committee, which of course includes the commissioners of the BCS conferences. And so we've been in and out of meetings for the last few years in that regard. And you talk and you speculate, and we were pretty low key up until over the course of the last several months. And with some of the moves that were made recently, and the footprint of the Sunbelt Conference changed so dramatically, we determined that it was time for us to try to control our own destiny. And I reached out to Britton, and he was responsive, and we stayed in touch over the last several months, and things finally came together this past week, and we were delighted to formalize what had been speculation and possibilities up until that point. So off and on over the last, well, maybe as far as a year, but again, most of those early conversations were just very casual and kind of what ifs.
Evan Brown, Monroe County Citizen. For either Dr. Ransdell or Mr. Stewart, are there going to be any changes to athletic complexes, Diddle Arena or LT Smith Stadium, in relation to the conference move? And will there be any added sports related to the move?
Well, we don't have any plans to add any sports at this particular time. Our budget as it is right now funds 19 sports, And that's a very healthy situation for us, and that's how we foresee it into the near future. You know, in terms of our facilities, most of them have undergone a significant transformation in the last 10 years, which I think was a big component of why we're able to make this move. We're always looking to get better, and we're always looking to improve things, but I think fortunately from a facility standpoint, we're much further along than maybe some schools are, so I don't know that we need to do a lot there.
I guess, Dr. Ransdell, with the situation you all have right now, it seems like all the sports seem pretty stable, at least as compared to how they were in recent years, and now you are making the move to Conference USA. In your time as president, how exciting of a time is this right now, these next few years, and how excited should Western fans be for kind of what's to come?
Well, I think our fans should be very excited. We've reduced the geography of travel to conference competition, and that's something that our fans should enjoy. There's some great destination points when you look at the Conference USA member institutions. And as the Sun Belt has changed, that geography has become greater for our fans to travel. And so I think from a fan standpoint, good rivalries, great institutions, great destination points, and shorter geography. So that's a good thing for our student athletes, as the commissioner mentioned as well. We're trying to reduce the amount of time our student athletes have to spend on the road and traveling to and from competition. This allows us to reduce that time on the road. Just the energy of making this move, the opportunity to restore rivalries. There's so much about this that is positive for WKU, and I'm very proud of the fact that we have taken a proactive step to create a better future and a more financially secure future. As the cost of intercollegiate athletics continues to rise, it's important that we create the revenue opportunities that allow us to keep pace and to be competitive and to be relevant. And finally, from a fan standpoint, we were on our first bowl game this past year. Still a relatively new phenomenon for us. But the year before that, we were left out. We were bowl eligible and didn't go. The Sun Belt had a team this past year that was bowl eligible and didn't go. Since Commissioner Banowski has been in his position, that has never happened in Conference USA. We like the possibility of being able to compete for one of the 5 bowl contracts, and I guess a backup agreement or 2 as well. So that we know when we're bowl eligible and our team and our coaches and our entire fan base works hard to get to that point, we'll have a bowl that will be waiting for us at the end of the season. So those are lots of reasons why this move is important, and it pleases me to be able to make this move now to secure our future.
Dr. Ransdell, you mentioned renewing old rivalries. Specifically Old Dominion and La Tech for the Lady Toppers, which you know all about, obviously, and then on the men's side for men's basketball, especially Middle Tennessee. I know it's probably more of a perk rather than a reason to join, but how big is that you are renewing so many old rivalries, even not necessarily old Sun Belt rivalries, but just from decades ago?
No, I think it's great. That's what makes intercollegiate athletics so much fun, and rivalries, you want them to be constructive, you want them to be positive, you want them to be high energy, and that's what these have been over the years, and so we're pleased to have the opportunity to renew some of those and to sustain some that we're enjoying right now. But if you look back on women's basketball, the history of women's basketball, there was not a better trio of competition than WKU, Old Dominion, and Louisiana Tech, as Michelle Clark-Hurd can attest. Then those 3 institutions, and I don't know how many Final Fours are shared between those 3 institutions, but it's several. So that's pretty cool. And then you think back about some of the memorable games with Alabama Birmingham and UNC Charlotte when they were both in the Sun Belt Conference in the conference's early years. And then you add, I think, who's the athletic director at Old Dominion? You add some of those things, and there's some great storylines that await us in the future that are great fun for our fans, and as I said, some great destination points in southern Mississippi, some great traditions. We've had some great baseball games out here with Louisiana Tech. So many reasons that I think our fans have reason to get in line and get your season tickets now, because the future is now. And let's sell out all of our venues and really be a meaningful partner to our new conference.
Any further questions today? Okay, another one.
Commissioner, I guess, how would you describe these last 2 years and all the changes that have come forth? And do you think it's finally starting to slow down and starting to stabilize a good amount?
Well, I appreciate that. For a second there, I thought I was going to get off the hook altogether. You know, I know there's been a lot of change in college athletics, and there's been a lot of change for student athletes and for coaches and for all of higher education, really. I mean, we've torn the cloth pretty good here the last few years. Change is an opportunity. You can either resist change or you can kind of embrace change and try and convert it into something really special. And so that's been our approach to it, and we're very excited about, you know, the group of universities we've got going forward. We think we're going to be around for a long time, and we think we're going to be a big influencer on the national stage for a long time. Hopefully we're going to slow down a little bit. Someone asked me earlier today about the merry-go-round. I said, you know, it'd be nice if someone went over and just kind of unplugged it from the wall and let it wind down a little bit, because I think, you know, we need to catch our breath. And we need to begin working on the things that we also care a lot about, and that's academics and education, and making sure these universities are relating to each other in a positive way that transcends athletics.
Mr. Commissioner, if you had to pick out one thing that was a #1 asset for Western Kentucky going into Conference USA, like, you know, if you could pick out just one benefit of them bringing to your conference, what would it be?
Well, I'm not going to pick out one, because if I do, then everyone will lock on that. But I can tell you that that I think that the university shares our vision for excellence going forward. I think they also bring a level of maturity to the conference that we need. You know, we've got some you know, some younger universities, and it's nice to have a blend of younger universities and big markets with also, you know, some older, more mature universities, and they have great fans. I mean, that's the thing that I've learned is that the Western Kentucky fans are among some of the best in the United States, and so you know, it's a combination of a lot of things that makes the decision an easy one, but it is an easy one, and so we're very happy about it.
Any other questions today? Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for being here today.
Thank you very much for coming out.
Okay.